Good afternoon, everyone. This is Gabe Cohen, GuideStar's Director of Communications. I'm pleased to welcome you to GuideStar's third Impact Call of 2016. As always, join the conversation on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @GuideStarUSA, and we're using the hashtag GSImpactCall. With today's Impact Call, we're going to start off with a little poll. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the poll, read the questions, and give everybody a second to get going. So the question today is, what brings you to today's Impact Call? First, I want to learn more about GuideStar's impact. Second, I want to learn about impact calls, so I may maybe run one for your organization in the future. Third, you want to learn about GuideStar's new nonprofit search, or if there's another reason, then you can select that as well. And just going to give one more second here. Excellent. Well, welcome again, everybody. And I am going to go over just a few housekeeping items first. We've got a screenshot here of the attendee interface. So you should see something like this on your computer on the right-hand side. If you've joined the presentation listening on your computer's speaker system by default, go ahead, and you want to join by telephone, you just select the telephone option on the right-hand side. And as always, we've blocked off a few minutes at the end of today's call to answer any of your questions. You can submit the questions through the question pane, also on the right-hand side, or you can also use the Twitter handle GSImpactCall. And you can submit the questions at any point during the presentation, and we'll answer them as many as we can at the end of the call today. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to a new cast of characters today. We've got, first off, we've got our Vice President of Strategic Partnership, Adrian Bordone. He's going to give a brief overview of GuideStar's work in the sector. After that, our Vice President of Product, Evan Paul, will live demo our new nonprofit search functionality. And then lastly, our VP of Strategy and Finance, Mizmoon Kusari, will lead last quarter's financial and programmatic results. We will end it with a lesson learned and also answer questions. Without further ado, Adrian, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Gabe. Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to be on today's call with you. I hope you'll take the opportunity, as Gabe mentioned, to throw some questions into the chat box and create as much of a dialogue today as we can. So first, I want to talk briefly about who's on today's call. We have just under 400 folks who've registered. About half of you are nonprofit executives. Another 30 to 40% represent the funding community who want to learn more about what GuideStar is doing. And then we have a smattering of folks from the professional services and consulting side, as well as some attendees from the research and media community. So welcome to all of you. If you take a look at the screen, you see that the vast majority of folks on today's call, this is their first impact call, so welcome to you. Some of you will have been on a few of these calls, so we hope that what we're about to share resonates with you. But again, if this is your first call, and the results of the poll earlier on showed that many of you want to learn more about search and about GuideStar's impact, please feel free to ask those questions in the course of today's discussion so we can get you the information you need. And if things need to continue beyond today's call, we're happy to continue those conversations with you. Lastly, regarding today's registrants and attendees, we have a great showing from the Mid-Atlantic and Southern regions, and a nice list of registrants from elsewhere around the country. So welcome to everyone. Thanks for being a part of today's event. And we'll continue on to some opening remarks about what today's impact call is intended to accomplish. So for those of you who are new to GuideStar's impact call, this forum is really intended to create an environment where we as a nonprofit can share our results with constituents and stakeholders in order to begin and in many cases continue the dialogue that encourages our data-driven decision-making in the sector. Each of you are an important part of the work that's being done today. We want to build those connections and demonstrate to you and others that we are mission-driven and focused on delivering measurable difference in the sector that we and you are trying to serve. So the process for running an impact call is listed here below, and you'll see at the bottom a link that we encourage you to go to if you want to learn how to run an impact call for your own organization. But really what we try to do every quarter is invite funders, stakeholders, donors, and the media, and invite them to learn more about what GuideStar is doing and what our impact looks like today and where we're going in the future. We then try to continue the dialogue both on and off the calls in between our quarterly impact calls with constituents and stakeholders in order to really build an environment that contributes to the transparency and accountability for the sector. So we hope you'll consider doing this for your own organization. We hope you'll learn some things today about GuideStar that might provide you a better understanding of what we're doing and how to help you improve the work that you're doing in the communities you serve. Next slide. So many of you undoubtedly have heard about GuideStar. You know a little bit about what we do, but it's important to remember that the vast majority of GuideStar's history has been focused on the left-hand side of the slide that you're seeing here today, and that has been the aggregation, the collection, the curation of, and the entry and publication of the nonprofit data that you see represented in the Data Hub diagram in the middle of the screen in teal. Increasingly, we're seeing a tremendous amount of interest and engagement from the community through what's happening on the right-hand side of this slide. The first is our GuideStar.org website, which is up to 7 million unique visitors a year today, which represents a phenomenal resource for stakeholders in the community who want to learn more about the sector. Below the image that you see there representing the website, we have an increasingly growing population of partners who are using our data to make it available to other users throughout the ecosystem. So these include our data distribution partners like Google, like Amazon Smile, organizations that are using GuideStar's data to reach an increased number of folks who are interested in understanding how they can better support the nonprofit community. And then lastly, on the right, we have a level of engagement that's occurring with individuals, our registered users throughout our community, folks like you who are on today's call, who are recognizing that GuideStar is not just a source of data, but we are a source of intelligence and insight, partnership and collaboration that can strengthen our understanding about how we can solve some of the most pressing challenges that our society faces today. So again, just as a reminder, we're the data hub that's really trying to create those connections that are driving intelligence in the sector today. Hopefully you'll feel that through the course of our presentation today. I'm now going to hand the screen over to our VP of Product, Evan Paul, who's going to show you something, show you a demonstration of our new ProSearch. Many of you who sat on today's call, as evidenced by the first poll, are really eager to see how this functionality works. Evan, take it over.
Great, thanks Adrian. I just want to say I'm really excited to show you what we've been working on here at GuideStar. We've been doing a lot of work, the products and design team at GuideStar, to engage a lot of the stakeholders that Adrian mentioned in really learning how we can better support the decisions that you all face and that we're striving to support through the data and features that we have at GuideStar. We've reviewed a lot of the comments and feedback in our new user community that launched a few months ago. That's been a really, really great resource to get people's feedback around what's working, what's not, and what people. And so we've really been mining that to identify where we can do better. A lot of that background work has really driven the development of our new profile pages, which we launched several months ago, the platinum level of our profiles, which we launched in May. And today I'll show you the kind of next big release for GuideStar, which is our new search experience. And it's really been informed by a lot of those conversations. And so let me just demonstrate the current search. So if I'm interested, say I recently went to San Francisco and I noticed that there's a huge homeless problem in the city. This is what the current search experience looks like. So you've got some filter tools up here. I see a number of organizations here. But what we were finding that if people really want to explore the range of organizations and quickly slice and dice this in a number of different ways, it's hard to do so. So I've got to do a lot of scrolling to be able to find cities I'm looking for, When I actually select a city, often the results are, it's not clear what happened there. Oh, now I see. Okay, so then I kind of now then within San Francisco, so if I wanted to switch cities or add another city, it's hard to do that automatically. So it's not a great experience for exploring the nonprofit landscape. And then for our, if you really want to do more sophisticated queries, a lot of our advanced features, so by issue area, participation level, on an entirely different page. And so I got to switch back and forth between more sophisticated queries to find the results I'm going for. So we redesigned, over the last year, we spent a lot of work building this from the ground up. We've changed out the underlying search engine to improve the results and the speed of search, and we've completely overhauled the user interface. So now it looks like this. So if I search for homeless, and then I find every organization in the country that's got some text keyword that matches homeless, and I'm interested in San Francisco, so I can click there. I could add additional cities if I want to, so I start to see there's 120 organizations, so that's interesting. I really want to know more about what are they doing, what are their programs. So for that, let's see who's reported at gold or platinum, because there I'm going to get more information about their program. So, okay, Compass Family Services, let's check them out. And so now I can quickly go to their webpage or their profile in GuideStar, go to the programs and results sections, and they've got really great content here. They've really done a great job of structuring their programs. I can see their charting impact questions, which have really, really good, thoughtful responses, and it gives me a really great sense of how they're thinking about the problem, how they're working on addressing it, and then I can look at other gold organizations and start to compare and contrast how different organizations are approaching the problem of homelessness. So that's an example on the free side for free users of GuideStar. I could also pick by income if I wanted to just see the largest, etc. For our premium and pro users, let's say I work for that homeless organization. So, and let's say that we work on trying to find supportive housing for the homeless. So I'm going to search homeless and housing, because the question I'm asking as a nonprofit professional might be, right now we're really government grant funded, and I'm hearing that the state might be cutting grants to the program that's been funding me, so I need to think about a different revenue model. And so let me look now around the country, and for premium and pro users, they get some additional filters that they can search by. So I want to look for an organization that's working on housing the homeless that's really got a strong program service revenue model that's not as dependent on government grants as we are. So let me put in 5M for 5 million, and I can see all organizations around the country that have more than 5 million or more in program service revenue. That shows me that, wow, they're getting some significant revenue through programs. And let me check Breaking Ground HDFC out. And I can quickly see in their profile, if quickly being the operative word, load times. Once this comes up, I can really start to understand how they've structured their revenue model might be similar or different than mine. Wow, look at this just amazing growth that they've had in recent years. Looks like they got a big infusion of contributions, and then they've been able to balance out government grants with program services revenue. So I might want to give them a call and ask them, like, wow, you guys have really grown this program services in recent years, and I kind of see some changes year to year. What's going on there? And it enables nonprofit professionals to learn from each other by seeing what other organizations are doing, what seems to be working, and what's not. So to help inform our own strategic planning, budgeting, programmatic planning, etc. So in addition to that, there's other filters that folks have on the premium and pro side. You can search by people to find all kinds of different professionals in the nonprofit sector. And we're going to be having a lot more updates on this interface in the coming over the next year. So we're looking to build a number of other kinds of functionality, all under the banner of really helping people explore the nonprofit landscape quickly, precisely, and with great quality information at the end result, so that we can better support the work that you're all doing. So We're going to be launching this in the next couple of weeks, so look for it. If you want to check it out today, you just go to guidestar.org/search, just like that, and you can actually see the beta version that's live right now, and this will be rolling out to be site-wide in the next couple of weeks. If you have any questions about it or have any feedback for us about it, how it could be even better, please go to the GuideStar community. We've got portions of the community all about the new search experience, and we'd love to get your feedback around it, how we can make it even better and support the work that you're doing. So thanks so much. Oh, and one other quick thing I forgot to show. If you want to do some analysis on the go, it's also all mobile responsive. So you can use it on a tablet or on your iPhone, so everything's been designed for, oh yeah, let me show my screen real quick. Sorry. Yeah, this is kind of cool, eye candy. So this is the mobile responsive behavior, so it works really well on tablet computers and on mobile devices, and so you can take it and do a query on the go if you're so inclined. So thanks so much.
All right, thanks, Evan. And with that, I'm going to launch a poll and ask everybody what they're most excited about GuideStar's new search. So the options here are that it's faster. The second option is the results page is much easier to use and more relevant. The third option is that you can filter multiple advanced search results in real time. Fourth option is all of the above. And fifth option is if you're just not enjoying it or you want to learn more. So we'll let these results come in. I'll give everybody just another second here. Great. And with that, I am going to hand it to Ms.
Great. Thanks so much, Gabe. That was really fascinating to see Evan walk through that. I'm sure you're all very excited as well, as demonstrated by the poll results. So I'm going to be walking us through today GuideStar's programmatic results as well as our financial results. And I'm going to start with our programmatic results, which you see here on the screen, is our data collection effort. So we think of our work across 3 dimensions right now: our data collection efforts, our data distribution efforts, and data innovation. So when we think about data collection, if you recall back to the data hub diagram that Adrian presented, this is our key area of work. And so when nonprofits like you share information with us at different levels of transparency, we provide you with a seal. And you know, all the way from basic operational information all the way up to platinum level information, which is quantitative program results. You'll see here in that last column for as of June or Q2 2016, you know, we've had even nearly 700 nonprofits share quantitative programmatic results with us at the platinum level. You know, we did see kind of a stagnating of gold and silver, and what we realized is that people are really moving up on the levels of transparency, and where we saw about a 5% growth is in that bronze level. So a lot of organizations are moving up within the level of transparency, as well as some organizations coming in new to the pipeline as well. So we are very encouraged and excited by those results. We've launched the Nonprofit Summer Games, you know, along with the Olympics. I'm sure you have been closely following those as well, and we'll provide you more information about how you all can upgrade your information, start sharing with GuideStar if it's the first time. So just to get a sense from everyone, I'd like to conduct another quick poll here. What is your current GuideStar nonprofit profile seal of transparency level? I'm curious to know who we have on the call today. Great. So it looks like we have quite a big mix here across all the different levels. So it's great to know. Thank you. Next, I'm going to talk about our data distribution efforts. So these, and I know there's a lot of information here on this slide, and I'll walk you through each chart. Data distribution is all the different ways that GuideStar users can access our data. That first one on the top is the number of unique website visitors. And that's people coming to GuideStar.org, you know, coming to use our search functionality, coming to look at their profile. There's always some level of seasonality in this. And I'll just say that, you know, we too were surprised by that drop from Q1 to Q2 this year. It's a little bit bigger drop than usual, The reason is that we've, if you recall from past impact calls, if you might have watched some of the recordings, we've had a lot of new systems changes at GuideStar, and we think that some of the ways that we're measuring our metrics are changing. We're still digging into that. You know, I wish I had an answer for you for why exactly that is, but I don't yet right now. The second chart on the bottom left is the number of websites and organizations that share our resources on their website. So internally at GuideStar, we think of this as our data distribution network. So I think Adrian alluded to, you know, other big companies like Amazon and such that share our data on their website. So it's not just users accessing information on GuideStar.org, but it's also accessing it on other people's websites and mobile apps. We saw also a 5% increase in the number of the organizations that are sharing GuideStar data. And one of the things that called into question for us is that we realized we have some other partnerships that right now this is just revenue generating data distribution network entities, but we think that to more accurately reflect the number of organizations that share in GuideStar data, we may collect, start counting those that don't earn us revenue, but that is important for the sector overall and getting that data out there. The last one that I'll go through is our GuideStar for grant applications, the number of foundations that are you know, sharing GuideStar data through various grant management software vendors. You know, this has been flat. The team has really been focused on learning, similar to our search product, collecting feedback to understand how we can, in our marketing and communication launch next quarter, how we can incorporate that feedback to continue to make the product better. And you'll see some of these terminologies. I forgot to mention that, you know, because we needed to walk as well, so we changed some of the ways we defined our metrics, and we reported on our metrics to make sure that we too follow the GuideStar Common Results Catalog. So I believe 2 out of 6 of our metrics that we report on and collect on come from the Common Results Catalog. So I encourage you to check that out. Adrian will be sharing a lessons learned on that later. Next slide, please. So on our data innovation efforts, and you'll see here, for those of you who have been on past impact calls, we've had some experiments about how we are collecting information, and you know, all the metrics that I've shared here are direct usage metrics. So they seem seemingly easier to collect. So we had some experiments around GuideStar metrics on this aspect of our work, but we weren't very satisfied with them. So we're going to be spending the next couple of quarters really digging into usage metrics that more accurately reflect our impact, and then also diving deeper and making sure that, you know, as an infrastructure organization in the nonprofit sector, we too are thinking about the long-term impact that we are intending to have and trying to measure whether we are achieving those goals. So stay tuned for some of those metrics coming up. And as I alluded to, those metrics at the top part of the page refer to sector metrics. So as an infrastructure organization, we also collect and track sector-wide metrics that we think are reflective and representative of the work that we're all trying to do, and 2 that we've listed here. Most of you, I imagine, would have seen the recent results from Giving USA on the 2015 level of charitable giving, which has gone up. It's been, you know, another record-breaking year for the volume of charitable giving that's going on in the U.S. We're very encouraged by that. And then the second metric is about individual donors that compare organizations. So as you know, an organization focused on encouraging and promoting data-driven decisions in philanthropy, we always, you know, we like it when individuals are doing research on nonprofits, and we think a level beyond that is, you know, actually comparing one nonprofit to another. Next slide, please. So shifting gears a bit from our programmatic results to our financial results, and I'm looking at the time here, so we'll go quickly through these. In terms of our financial performance, they've mirrored our programmatic performance. It's been steady in the second quarter of 2016. If you look at those blue bars compared to the yellow bars, on our top line revenue, we've, you know, met our budget targets in Q2. In terms of expenses, we're slightly behind, which There's been some delays and some actual savings that we're expecting for 2016. And then on the bottom line, kind of our operating loss is slightly better than projected at this time of the year. And we're essentially, as those of you who might have been on previous impact calls, it's going to be an investment year for GuideStar. So we had projected a small loss or a break-even year, if you will, as we continue to build our internal systems and teams and make sure that we can continue to provide the impact in the sector. Next slide, please. So shifting from our income statement to our balance sheet, I'll just quickly walk through from both our cash and unrestricted net assets position, again comparing the current results in the blue bar to our targeted in our the yellow bar. You know, we're slightly ahead of where we expect to be given the expense savings that I mentioned. Although we recently did a reforecast of where we expect to be in the year, and we're a little bit more cautious on both the revenue and expense side. So we're watching that closely right now. With that, I'm going to shift it back to Adrian for lessons learned.
Thanks, Ms. So just going to focus for a moment here on some really exciting lessons we've learned in the 8 to 10 weeks since Platinum rolled out. As you heard Evan mention, this rolled out in May. So since our last impact call, this has gone live. We have seen a remarkable level of interest and adoption for this, for the ability of our organizations to upload and update their profiles with results data. And the lesson that we've learned is really something that is a little bit of a myth busting that many folks on this call may be familiar with. When we rolled out our results catalog, for those of you who are familiar with it, and there are some folks on the call today who are Platinum level profile holders, and thank you and congratulations on that. But you'll know that you can go on to the Platinum level and access the results catalog and then actually add a result if it's specific to your organization, or search for and select from one of the many results that we've compiled and put in front of the organizations who use that. And what's been really intriguing for us is that 72% of the results that have been submitted by today, almost 1,000 organizations, as Ms. mentioned a moment ago, the data that she was sharing was as of the end of June. So we still continue to see an uptick in folks who are joining our Platinum level of transparency. 72% of the results are being selected from our Common Results Catalog. And what many folks on this call will understand is, you know, the challenge that we've been facing in the sector for years is the perception that we're all unique snowflakes and that results are unique to each organization's perspective and understanding of the challenges that they're trying to work through and solve. However, we're seeing and we're encouraged by recognizing that more than half, well more than half, almost 3/4 of folks are finding the results that accurately measure the impact they're having in their communities in this results catalog. We are actively going through that results catalog today, planning for the next evolution of it in early 2017. So we're accommodating those that have been added, reviewing them, and determining if they should be added to the Common Results Catalog. For anyone on this call who wants to learn more about Platinum, please make sure you identify yourself in the Q&A or reach out to any of us here at GuideStar. We'd love to connect you with the right folks. Make sure that you're taking advantage of the profile that GuideStar has for you, and that with our assistance or on your own, you're updating all the way up to Platinum. So again, super exciting news. Can't wait to share more information on our next impact call as our efforts continue.
Great. And unfortunately, we are pretty much out of time today, but we do want to give everybody the opportunity to just let us know if they've got questions. So I'm going to launch another poll here. And if you do have any questions, just go ahead and click on yes, and then someone will be in touch with you. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Thanks to Evan, Ms., Adrian for their help today. And we look forward to talking to everybody in about another 3 months or so. Thanks, everybody.